Well, today is August 26th. We're here at Gettysburg, and we're at the most northern point of the Gettysburg battle. And it's so complicated. It was a 3-day battle that I don't even know where to begin. I just wanted to show you this part of this battlefield. There's a lot more. The most northern part of the battlefield. This is the Eternal Light Peace Memorial dedicated by FDR 75 years after the battle. This was a 3-day battle. I want to show you some of the panorama around here. And the significance of this, among other things, is more folks died here in that 3 days than in the history of the United States before or since. Beautiful place, I guess. Pretty place to die. Jenny made her a new friend. We're at the Gettysburg Visitor Center, and I think we're going to win the Tourist of the Day award. Not sure. Gettysburg info, and I'm at the base of an observation tower, and so this is just cars, but there are over 850 monuments and markers associated with Gettysburg, so good luck on identifying them. A couple tidbits: the two main generals in the Gettysburg were Robert E. Lee and George Meade. I don't think I'd ever heard of him. And I did learn that Stonewall Jackson was killed at Gettysburg by his own men. He was, it was late, dusk, or the afternoon, maybe dark, and he was putting them in positions where he wanted them, and they thought he was a Union soldier and shot him dead. I'm going to go up to the top of this observation tower and do a panorama. I'm not going to talk up there because it's loaded up with folks, so that's why I'm doing this. Top of Gettysburg, and right over there in that far field is where we started off this morning. I'll just do a little panorama. You really can't see too much because of the treetops. We're only up about 75 or 80 feet. The whole battlefield covered 9 square miles. There's Gettysburg. Gettysburg National Cemetery. And this is a cemetery that the governor of Pennsylvania visited the battlefield shortly after it was over, which lasted 3 days, by the way, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 1863. And they just buried the soldiers in place. And most of the soldiers that are buried here, and you can see little tombstones right over there, are unknown. Now on the other side of the fence over there is a working active cemetery. But right here where this monument is where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. Right here somewhere very close. New York monument. I said something a little confusing a while ago, at least it was to me. The governor of Pennsylvania came down to the battlefield and just saw how randomly these people were buried. The ones that could be identified were buried over there, and they moved the bodies from the battlefield to over here. All these little small monuments are unknown folks. And I think there were like 6,000 people buried in here. Monument to Robert E. Lee on his favorite horse, Traveler. And this is a ridge we're on, and this is also the where the infamous Pickett's Charge took place. And Pickett's Charge across here, I think he had 12,000 men with him, and they were trying to take that ridge over there, which was held by the Union, or at least break through it and separate them, but they couldn't do it. And they just lost tons of folks here, and it was a moral defeat for the Confederacy. We're up on an observation tower, which was 116 steps, which I figured out to be about 66, 67 feet. Pickett's Charge was right down there, and Gettysburg is right over there in that direction. And something I didn't know, which, among other things, is Eisenhower bought this farm right over here, and he lived. This was his residence when he died. And he just loved to raise some Angus cattle there. But all this is part of the battlefield. Right over there in the distance, far distance in that clearing, is where we started out this morning. Like I said, this was a 9 square mile battlefield. The Georgia Monument, be the grandest monument in the whole battlefield area. That's Pennsylvania's monument. Gettysburg video up. It's been an interesting day. About a half a mile right over there, over that horse statue, is General Meade's headquarters. Baltimore is 54 miles that way, and DC is 69 miles that way. What's odd is the casualties on each side were about 23,000. But of those 23,000, about 3,700 Confederate soldiers were killed, and 41 or 4,200 Union soldiers were killed. The rest of them were wounded and or captured or missing. Jenny said she'd have been one of the missing, somewhere in a cornfield, but who knows. But quite a battle. August 27th, we did Gettysburg yesterday, all day. It was pretty interesting. We just leaving Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Our little campsite, which was Caledonia, was 10 miles toward Gettysburg. Gettysburg's due east of here. And we just got back on the interstate. Guess who's taking charge? And we're going to go up here about 90 miles near Hershey and continue our little journey. Saturday, August the 30th, we're at Locust Lake State Park. A lot of glare. I don't know if you can see that. This is in Pennsylvania. We're about a little bit south of Scranton and probably 100 miles west of New York City. We left Gettysburg, I think we went there Tuesday or Wednesday, and drove about halfway and went to Hershey and looked at that phenomenal place. It's like a mini Disneyland, but we didn't want to stay there. And we came up here yesterday, and this is a state park. And I'm going to wrap this video up and send it out as soon as I can. It's another perspective. I'm standing on the dam. This is a little trout pond that they built. Here's another shot of this lake. It's a very pretty place. That's where I was standing right over there a while ago. Nice place. This is it for the video. I wanted to show you this. We're in this campground, Locust Lake Campground, and this section right here has no power. This is Labor Day weekend, so these things are jam-packed. There was a little car parked up there. But I almost got in a bind there. We backed down a little bit, and when we started to try to pull out, the rear axle started spinning. So, but anyway, we got it out. It could have been bad, but it wasn't. And this gentleman right here is the camp host. Yikes. And he was helpful. He loaned me a military shovel, so I was able to do a little bit of repair work. But this is going to do it for this video. I just want to show you there's no power. These sites have no electricity or water or sewage or anything. We just, like we were in a Walmart parking lot, just free camping. See ya.